In this video, I'm going to talk you through 7 sunscreens that I have tried and tested, and I'm going to be ranking them. Hello and welcome or welcome back. So, as is often said, the best sunscreen is the one that you will actually wear. Now, as an over 50 woman, or in my case a 69-year-old woman, I have learnt kind of the hard way that sunscreen is really vital. And because I hadn't worn sunscreen consistently for the last few years, I've ended up with brown spots. In fact, they're not really spots, they're kind of lesions. I'm getting one here as well. And they are caused simply and purely by the sun. They are sun damage. And so we need to wear sunscreen every day. And we also need not to rely just on sunscreen, but to wear a hat and sunglasses and not to sit out in the sun for any length of time. After all, the sun emits radiation, and we all know what radiation can do and the damage it can cause. So we need to limit our sun time. Now, a little sun is good for us, we know. We shouldn't stay away from the sun and stay indoors all the time. We need to get outside and enjoy being outside. And wearing sunscreen is one of those precautions. Now, in this video, I'm going to be ranking SPF 50s and SPF 30s. Now, what is the difference between an SPF 50 and an SPF 30? Well, an SPF 50 provides approximately 98% protection from UVB rays, and surprisingly, an SPF 30 provides approximately 96.7% protection from UVB rays. So there isn't a huge amount of difference between an SPF 50 and an SPF 30. However, in practical terms, we all know we probably don't apply enough. Particularly if you're super fair-skinned, you need to not only apply the recommended amount of sunscreen, but you also probably need to go with an SPF 50. Now, I have an olivey type skin, and yes, I do have some sun damage, but I'm quite lucky that all those years I spent lapping up the sun and letting my skin go the colour of an actual nut. I've been quite lucky and I've come out unscathed, but that's not to say that I don't wear SPF every day, because I do, and I know that I have to protect my skin from the sun, and I have friends who have had melanomas, and so I know how important it is for our health as well as the look and feel of our skin. Now, all the SPFs I've been testing are unfragranced, and that's because I'm allergic to fragrance, because if I use fragrance products on my skin for any length of time, I get seborrheic dermatitis. And I think it's also important to consider when you are choosing a sunscreen is what do you actually want out of it? Because I'm assuming, because you're watching my channel, you want to wear foundation over it, you'll be wearing makeup. So I think apart from the right SPF, you also want to be sure that it doesn't peel under makeup, that it doesn't leave a white cast, and that it lasts all day. Now, one of the foundations I'm testing is a mineral, but all the others are chemical. And the other thing I need to mention, of course, is that in the UK, we have different rules to those in the States, and possibly in other countries as well. Our sunscreens are aligned to the EU, but in the States, there are very different rules and different types of sunscreen. So the sunscreens I'm going to talk about, some of them differ in the States to the ones in the UK. Obviously, I can only test the ones that I can purchase in the UK, although actually I've got a couple of Korean ones. And of course, in other countries like Australia, they have different rules. And actually, as I understand it, the Australian SPFs are actually some of the best in the world. And other countries may have different rules as well. So really what I've tried to do here, and one of the reasons I have used a couple of Korean sunscreens, is they are available worldwide, whereas the sunscreens I'm purchasing here are only available here and in Europe. I hope this is helpful. And I just wanted to mention that I'm not just thinking about my UK viewers, but I am trying to think about those of you in other countries as well. Now, all the details of all the SPFs will be in the description box below, with a UK and a US alternative. And what you're going to be seeing is, once I've shown you the sunscreen and talked about where it ranks, you will also see some footage of me applying it and also applying a tinted moisturizer on the top. And I chose the number 7 because it won the rankings of my tinted moisturizer video that I did recently, and I'll link that down below for you. And I thought, because we're coming into summer, we're probably more likely to be wearing a lighter foundation. So I thought I'd pick the tinted moisturizer rather than a foundation. So let's start with number 7, and that is the Canmake Mermaid Skin Gel, UV SPF 50 plus, PA 4 pluses. Now this is a mineral sunscreen and it retails for between £9 and £12, and I'll put the dollar price on the screen. Now this is very interesting. The description says that it's a lotion, because the description says splash it on like a lotion. Well, I think you'll see when I'm applying it, that isn't quite how I was able to apply it. And they also say it can serve as a makeup base. Well, again, I'm not quite sure about that, but as you can see, it is tinted. It's a slightly strange colour. It's kind of yellowy. And let me just show you how it applies on my hand, and then you'll see the footage of me applying it. Well, first of all, I didn't find that you could splash it at all. You've got to rub it in quite carefully. And it took quite some time to absorb. And as you can see, not only is it taking a long time to absorb, but it's leaving a kind of yellowish tinge to my skin, which I can't say I liked at all. I mean, it feels okay. It's a little bit on the greasy side maybe, but it's okay. But the test really was how would it fare under the tinted moisturiser, and I'm afraid it didn't work at all. As you can see, it broke up really quite badly, and I'm afraid for that reason it ranked bottom at number 7. And you can see how long this has taken to absorb into my skin. I mean, once it's on, it's okay, but it definitely does leave that slightly strange yellow tinge on my skin, and it's not something that I find attractive at all, really. The texture's all right, but I didn't love it, and that's why I've ranked it number 7. Oh, and just to say that Tamara tested this recently of Tamara's Timeless Beauty, and she didn't rate it either, although she did try another one from the Canmake range and found that that was better, but that's not in this video. And this is the only mineral sunscreen I tested. Next, at number 6, we have the E.L.F. Suntouchable Wow Glow SPF 30. Now, this is a chemical sunscreen. It retails for £14 or $14, and it contains aloe vera, hyaluronic acid, and squalane. It's available in 3 shimmer shades: Sunlight, Sunbeam, and Sunburst, and I have it in the shade Sunbeam. Now, it's got some great ingredients in it. And actually, it looks a little bit like the Canmake, doesn't it? I think this is meant to be a dupe for a Supergoop sunscreen, I believe. Now, this does absorb differently and looks different as you start to massage it in. You can see it goes white as you start to massage it in. But it did take a while to absorb. And I actually couldn't see a tint, I have to say. Now, what I really wasn't fond of is it left my skin so glowy. In fact, I'd be tempted to say it left my skin oily rather than glowy, and it needed a sort of double powdering. I mean, it's okay. Once it's absorbed, it's not too bad, but it's the oiliness, the greasiness, if I'm honest, that I didn't really enjoy. And that's what it looks like on my hand as it's dried down. But I think you can see it's got quite a sheen to it, so it was okay, but I didn't love it. It was fine under the tinted moisturiser, so that was okay, but it seemed a little bit like double bubble. And possibly if I'd tried it without bothering with the tinted moisturiser on the top, I might have been okay with some concealer. But it's not my favourite, and really I want my sunscreen just to be a sunscreen. I'm not really bothered about it having a dual role, so that's why it's come in at number 6. Now at number 5 is an old favourite of mine, and that is the Cerave Facial Moisturising Lotion SPF 30. This is a chemical, and it retails for $16.50 or $16.22, although it does vary as to if you're buying it from Amazon or other sites. There are often special offers to be had. Now, I know I've talked about in previous videos that I'd gone off Cerave because there are certain products of theirs, like the cleanser, that I didn't really enjoy anymore. However, I think this sunscreen is a good, reliable one. I'd call it a workhorse, actually. Now, this has 3 essential ceramides in it. It's got niacinamide and hyaluronic acid, and it has something called patented MVE technology. Now, it says it delivers instant and long-lasting hydration, and although it takes a little while to absorb into the skin and it does leave a slight white cast, well, it doesn't leave a white cast, it has a white cast until it's fully absorbed, let's put it that way. It doesn't sting like some of the other CeraVe products have known to do for people and even for me. And it sits well under makeup. It's just nothing special. It's okay. It feels all right. See, it's taken a little while to absorb, but it's just about there now. And it gets the job done. Now, I lied when I said there was only one mineral sunscreen. Actually, there are two. And coming in at number 4 is the Haruharu Wonder Black Rice Pure Mineral Relief Daily Sunscreen SPF 50 plus PA 4+. Now again, the price varies with this one depending on the day that you look. It's between about £9 and £17, and I'll put the dollar price on the screen. Now ingredients include hydrators like rice bran and hyaluronic acid, and skin soothers like heart leaf extract. Now as you can see, this is white, but the white cast disappears quite quickly. It goes on easily, and there was absolutely no pilling under makeup. It feels really nice and smooth on the skin. So if I compare it to the CeraVe, for example, that I've just used, the CeraVe is more lotion-like, I would say, whereas it's more cream-like. And so in a way, I prefer a cream on my skin. A lotion is fine for the body, but there's something more sort of, how can I put it? I feel that there's something more hydrating and emollient. I suppose that's the word, more emollient. Now you can see there is still a white cast actually. It's taking quite some time to absorb. But once it's absorbed, it doesn't show. And actually most of us, I would say, don't immediately apply a foundation straight after we've put our sunscreen on. So in a few minutes that will have absorbed, and then you can apply your foundation or your tinted moisturizer on the top, and you won't notice that you've got the sunscreen underneath. And it certainly didn't affect the tinted moisturizer in any way. It sat very well under it, and I really enjoyed using it. Now at number 3, we've got the Eucerin Photoaging Control Sun Fluid SPF 30. Interesting, this says it's a fluid. I'm not sure that I'd class it as a fluid. Now it's a chemical sunscreen, SPF 30, and it's a bit pricier in the UK. And the version in the States is slightly different, but also cheaper. So this one in the UK is £23, and in the US it's $12.50. Now I wouldn't call that a lotion myself, but actually, to be fair, as I start to massage it into my hand, it is more fluid-like. That is true. Now this has got hyaluronic acid and something that I can't pronounce, but I'm going to attempt to, glycyrrhetinic acid, which apparently helps to intensely hydrate and nourish the skin. Now it feels lovely. As I say, I have to admit it is more lotion-like, and I did review this a couple of years ago. I did a video 2 years ago where I reviewed, I think, about the same number of SPFs, and I went from really budget SPFs to high-end, and this was one of the higher-end ones. And I've always liked it, so I've always gone back to it on a regular basis, and it absorbs relatively quickly. It doesn't feel greasy on the skin once it's absorbed, and it's sat well under makeup. Now I know it's pricey, but it's reliable. That's the thing. It's a reliable brand. We know that Eucerin is a great brand. It's got lots of fantastic products in it, and it's trustworthy. And I think that's something quite important as well, that we want to be able to trust these skincare brands that we use. And if they are OGs, if you like Eucerin is, then we know that we're going to a good brand that's got a great reputation. Now, coming in at number 2, well, it was really difficult to choose between numbers 2 and number 1, but I've gone with the Paula's Choice Skin Restoring Moisturizer SPF 50, or in the States it's called the Youth Extending Daily Hydrating Face Sunscreen, but they're both SPF 50. Now, this is a chemical sunscreen, and ingredients include niacinamide, vitamin D, and shea butter. Oh, I just love this. I really, really love this. It's creamy, it's soft, it feels absolutely fantastic on the skin. It's quite velvety. It is really pricey. It costs £39 in the UK and $38 in the US. But again, like Eucerin, although it probably hasn't been around quite as long, Paula's Choice is a fantastic brand. I discovered it about 6 or 7 years ago, and I've actually heard Paula Bagoon, I think she started the website Beautypedia to help inform us about the quality and the ingredients of beauty products. And then she developed Paula's Choice and all the lovely products that she's got there. But they are pricey. What I really love about them, or one of the things I love about them, is they're unfragranced, which of course is really important to me. But as you can see, it's taking a little while to absorb, but it doesn't leave a white cast once it is absorbed. There's absolutely no stinging. It sits really well under makeup and it just feels lovely on the skin, and it doesn't make it feel too oily or too greasy. It's just soft, it's comfortable, and it's just a really reliable and really good quality product. But I suppose I've put it at number 2 because of the price, because at number 1 we've got the Beauty of Joseon Relief Sunrise and Probiotics sunscreen. Now this is a chemical sunscreen, interestingly, because it is a Korean sunscreen, and the other 2 Korean sunscreens that I've showed you are minerals, but this one isn't. Now unusually this has got a kind of tube application which you just squeeze rather than having a pump, but it contains niacinamide, Camellia sinensis leaf extract, Panax ginseng root extract, try saying that lots of times very quickly, Monascus rice ferment, and tocopherol. Who names these ingredients? I don't know. It feels so lovely. It is a cream, but it's kind of lotion-like. I know that sounds like a load of nonsense, but it's a very light cream. I think that's what I'm trying to say. It's a really light cream. There's no pilling under makeup. It does absorb very quickly. Now in my notes I've put it doesn't absorb as quickly as the Eucerin, but I'm not sure that's quite true. I'd have to look back at the footage. But it does sit really well under foundation. And I have been using this fairly regularly for the last couple of months. You can see it's absorbed, it's not greasy in any way, it's really comfortable on the skin. And of course I've completely forgotten the price, which I will put on the screen, but from memory it was around about £16. But again, these prices do vary a lot. I mean, if you're looking at Eucerin and Paula's Choice, they tend to be fixed prices, whereas the cheaper brands tend to have special offers quite a lot depending on the site that you look at. But all the links to all the sunscreens will be down below in the description box. So those are the 7 sunscreens I've tested. Some I've been using regularly and some I may carry on using, but I'm not sure about the Canmake. I'd probably be okay if I was wearing it just by itself on a day when I wasn't going out and not wearing any makeup on top of it. But otherwise, the others were all pretty good and some were certainly better than others. So let me know, have you tried any of these? Have you tried any Korean sunscreens? And if so, what did you think? Particularly those of us in the UK, because I think, I mean, maybe it's just me, but I think we're fairly new to Korean sunscreens over here in the UK. So I really hope this video has been helpful to you. And if it has, I'd be so grateful if you'd give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, because lots of you who are watching are not yet subscribed, and I'd be so delighted if you would, and hit the notification bell, because all those 3 things help YouTube put my video in front of other women who might enjoy it. And if you'd like to hear more from me, I have a monthly newsletter. And in that, I don't just talk about beauty, fashion and lifestyle, but also music, books, podcasts, TV, film, and all the other bits and bobs that enhance our lives. And thank you so much for watching. It means the absolute world to me. It really does. And I hope you're all doing really well. And I look forward to seeing you on my next video. Bye.